Do you want to absolutely beam in Season 9? Have you been struggling to hit your shots and you don't know the reason why? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today is a beautiful one because I haven't done a settings video in a while, but there's something that actually has changed in my settings. Oh my... Look at me! Ooh. Now, a lot of you guys probably think that I'm on the same sense that I used to be, but that is not the case. So ladies and gentlemen, we're actually just going to get straight into the video, okay? So... gameplay, this is all preference, whatever you want to bloody do, okay? Doesn't really matter. You do whatever you want to do. The mouse and keyboard, get out of here. Button layout, ladies and gentlemen. Button puncher is what I use. Now, you can use whatever you want, but oh my god, my stick drift is so bad. Look, I'm not touching it. Button puncher is what I use because I have one paddle on the back for crouching, and that is all, right? That's all I have. I don't have anything else. No other paddles, just that's it. And I play claw, so I use my index finger to press all the buttons. This just feels like a repeater from every other settings video that I've ever done. Anyway, interact reload button, tap, whatever, reload. Stick layout, default. Again, you can use whatever you want, but personally, I think you should be using button puncher. Yeah, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Aim button, hold, obviously. Crouch button. You can have this on toggle or hold, but if you don't have a paddle on the back of your controller, I recommend having this on toggle, because if you're crouching with your right stick when playing button puncher, it's just going to ruin your aim. You can have it on hold if you have a paddle, but if you don't have a paddle, put it on toggle. I have it on toggle anyway, even though I have a paddle. Toggle is just nice, do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, personal preference, but this is just the smarter option. Crouch spamming isn't super effective, so yeah, you don't really need to put it on hold. Aim button, hold, obviously. Survival slot button, it makes more sense to have it on, but I like inspecting and being cool, so I have it off. Trigger dead zones, you want this on none, because it means you have to, you know, press down less on your trigger for it to actually activate, which means you could probably have a faster fire rate on single fire weapons than having it on max. Having it on max makes no sense. Yeah, so have that on none. Menu cursor speed, I have that a little bit high. Again, you can have that on whatever you want. I recommend doing it halfway, or even somewhere like this is fine. Yeah, I do like having it up a little bit because it, you know, looting fast is good. Look, sensitivity, and ADS. This is where, you know, things start to change a little bit. I used to play on 4.3, which is fine, completely fine. Now 4.3 isn't as slow as you think because I play on linear, right? So instead of it being classic, I play on linear, which actually makes things feel a lot faster. So it basically feels like I'm playing already on 5.3. So when I end up going to 5.3, which I currently am playing on right now, it feels like I'm like 5.5 to 6.3, just because of the linear. Linear makes a big difference. But yeah, it is personal preference, but I like having it 5.3. 3 ADS because you don't, you know, it's just a good ADS. 4 is a little bit too much, especially linear when you're shooting far away. And the reason I like linear as well is because my hip fire is super duper accurate. With linear, yeah, my hipfire never used to be really good because I played on classic, and then I switched to linear, and it got so much better. Per optic setting, I don't really mess around with this. I maybe from like 6 I'll move it up a bit, but other than that, I keep it all 3. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. Look dead zone, I have it on small. If you have it on none, you will experience a lot of stick drift. My controller's pretty old and it has a lot of stick drift, so having it on none would just not work out for me. So small is probably where you want it, even if you have, you know, a pretty new controller. It just feels nicer to me. Movement dead zone, small, obviously. Inverted look off, vibration off. This is something else that I used to play on. I used to play vibration on all the bloody time, and now I have it off, and yeah, that's it. Now if you're interested in my ALC settings, which I do have ALC settings, here they are right now. These I do, you know, these are kind of similar to the ones that I have on right now. These, I'm pretty sure this has to be down a little bit. I think, yeah, like that. So like these right here are my LC settings. So dead zone, you got 3%, outer threshold 2%, response curve 2%, yaw speed 300, pitch speed 260, ADS yaw speed 110, ADS pitch speed 90, and the rest are just 0. I really am a fan of this. I think I do need to turn up the dead zone and the response curve maybe a little bit, because let's test out, because I do have a lot of stick drift, which is a little bit annoying. But let's quickly just go in game and see how this feels. Now, as you can see, I'm not touching my controller right now, and there is a little bit of stick drift, which is fine. It doesn't really affect me too much, only when I'm looking down, which is, you know, it's like this right now, which is not too bad. And this is a little bit faster than 4.3, and I feel like it maybe feels like 5.3 right now. But it feels good, you know, it feels good. I need to quickly try the ADS sense, because I'm not 100% sure what it is like. This feels a little bit, this feels exactly like 3, maybe a little bit slower. Oh, hold up a second. That actually feels kind of good. Do not play on a high sense, guys. You don't need to. Okay, so let's turn this off for a second. I know someone who like plays on 8 ADS. There's no point playing 8 linear. Like, you're not going to be hitting your hip fire shots at close range. Like, it's that simple. You're not going to. Like, if they're super fine movements, and even at long range, especially a long range, you're not going to be doing that. There's really no point of you playing on 8. Think about it. Controller is not made for movement. Of course, you can do cool movement things on controller, just like, you know, regular zipline hops. You can do that. I can do that on 4 cents. It's not special. Obviously, other than, you know, 180ing someone faster. You know what I mean. Everything you can do on 8 cents, I can do on 4 cents, right? It doesn't really make a difference. Now think about it. Controller isn't made for movement. It's made for good aim because of aim assist, and it's just how it's built. So you should really play to your advantages. Super high sense is usually made for movement and maybe flicking on people, but majority of the time, you're not going to need to do that. And all the, like, look at this. I can do this, like, I'm on 8 cents right now, right? That's zipline hopping. I can do zipline hopping on 3 cents. Like, it's really not that difficult. Like, it's okay, 3 is bloody slow, but it's not that difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be trying to be insane at movement if you're on controller. Although you can be. Just play to your advantages. That's why Snipe Down plays on a pretty low sense, because he doesn't try to look cool. He plays to his advantages, which are his brains and his beams. But yeah, guys, that's been the settings video. There's really not much that has changed. The video settings, if you were really interested in my video settings on PC, this is what they are right here. I'm not sure if I meant to have this, like, enable this end video reflex. I recommend playing on a lower sense if you're on controller. It's just easier to beam. And people say, oh yeah, it's easier to play on lower sense. Then why don't you play on lower sense? Like, really, what's the point on playing on a super high sense if it's easier to play on a low sense? Just play on a low sense. I could 1v1 someone who's on 8 cents, and I would probably still beat them on 3. Like, it doesn't make a difference. If you know, if you have good game sense and you know what you're doing, and that's your main superpower right there, is your game sense. That's the main thing. Don't try to be cool. Don't try to be like movement flashy or whatever. Focus on your aim and your game sense, and you'll be so much better. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the settings video. That's basically been it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. I will try to answer as many of them as I can before I go to bed, because I'm super tired. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your day, guys, and take care. Bye bye.